Welcome back to Dragon Friends. It's been...
Oh my
God.
No, Eden. Eden.
Is the dice cam still
Come on,
working?
man.
Can I
We've been
have-
here for 6 hours.
Throw him to me.
We have been doing this show. It's been a month for you. Is Trump still president?
What's happened? Your face is so aged.
We're still here! And we're going to stay here for 2 more hours playing Dungeons & Dragons. But it's not all bad. We got some beers, didn't we? So we drank them faster than we should have.
Shoop, shoop, doop, as they say in that song.
What song?
Shoop.
Shoop, doop.
Copyright infringement. Copyright infringement.
Gonna get flagged.
So,
where were we? In a jungle of some such?
Were we?
deep in the heart of Chult lies a shining city of Whitestone, or once it was so, the city of Omu, beloved and richest of all the Omoan, all of the deep in the jungles of Chult lies a city of Whitestone, proud and impervious, once the heart of thriving commerce of this time.
Oh my God!
What is happening?
As the summer sun descends upon a haze.
Yeah, wind him up again.
You should be fine now.
The stinking sun sets above
no.
you, and
Stinking
yet you
sun.
find.
That stinking sun.
Always
I want to hide.
Stinking Sun is one of Friezo's new spells.
Omu, city of white, city of
Yes,
perils,
Owen.
city of treachery, city of slavery, city lost for time itself for the last 90 years. Its gates have been barred, and yet to you, the Dragon Friends Precious Four, it has instead opened its bounteous heart to you and your feet and graspy little hands, and you've done the best with it, stealing from many tombs, killing many innocent merchants, and also a child. Let's not forget the child, and a big frog too, so swings and roundabouts. But
The
you-
frog killed the child mostly.
throughout all of this, you have gathered puzzle cubes like a fucking Harry Potter terrier, gathering Horcruxes.
You told them to do this,
Yeah,
in fairness.
I know, but instructed as you have to gather you have. So, in the Shrine of Wongo, where you discovered that Friezo is not good to his friends, you found a puzzle cube. Deep inside the serpentine heart of the Jackalee Shrine, you also found a puzzle cube, and then you found 2 more puzzle cubes, and you sprung them, which is a pity and will soon hurt you. There is also, of course, the Froggy Myth that you defeated, and I find it unfair to say you got this one, because really you just murdered a lot of people to take it. But you have 4 puzzle cubes. So congratulations.
That's so good. And there's only 9, so we just need to find one
One
more,
more,
and then
we
we've
can go
definitely
back.
won the
And we
wager. Then we
win.
get to go to a nice restaurant.
A mid-tier restaurant.
But for now, you find yourselves still trapped inside that same Jackalee Shrine. For your new friend Bruce has stolen a fake illusory cube, and with it triggered all of the ancient defenses of this place.
Bit of
You
an
now-
illusory thing to do.
There was silence, and then
And that-
sotto voce, one guy under his breath was just like, boo.
Congratulations to you, sir. Everyone was thinking it.
But
Voice
now,
of the people.
But now you find yourself trapped in a room with a statue of a snake. In the next room, 9 archers, already you can presume poised to fire, and then a corridor with 6 more, and it seems all that is left to do is run.
Any thoughts, Brusque?
All right, age before beauty, and I take off running.
Oh.
I sprint down.
Great, all right, so you make your way into the first room, and you race through as fast as you can, but already. And you get hit by 2 arrows. It's fine, everyone, it's fine. And you take 24 hit points worth of damage.
Oh, that's
Oh, well,
so
that's
many.
fine.
But you sprint through the corridor and make your way out, and you're out of the building.
Oh, far out.
So those arrows are shooting out of that corridor. What if we snake it? Will they get us still?
Yeah, can the arrows point down?
Yeah, they're moving, and
Oh, so the statues can move. They're not fixed in a position.
no, they're moving like clockwork almost. Like
Okay, that's my beer. Sorry, that's my beers.
Okay.
Okay, so he already ran.
Now, Dave, can I have a look at the archers to see if they've reloaded those arrows, or if it's like a one
arrows
hit?
are already materializing back again. It takes a second, but arrows materialize in their
Okay.
bows.
So, what I think we should do is...
Live here. It's quite nice.
Is there
We're
anything that we
always
can
bloody
use-
getting into trouble.
The arrows
Let's
are
just
only
hang
coming
out
from
here
one
for a while.
side, is that correct? One side
in
of
the
the
main
corridor?
room, they're all around the room, and then the corridor both sides.
Are there any... Is there any, like, thing that we can use as a shield?
I've got a tent.
You still got the tent?
Yeah.
All right. That's not going to work. It's made of canvas.
So is...
That would be your
is-
second tent, because one tent you also...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but we kept it.
So, I've put it together in my brain. Phil, do you have your javelin still?
Yes.
All right.
I got it out of the pond with the dead
Bruce,
boy's
can
body.
you hear? Bruce, can you hear us at the end of the corridor?
Bloody yes, mate.
Okay.
I've got the natural hearing of a cat. And then the slightly worse hearing of an 102-year-old person.
It sort of balances out.
I've got the hearing of basically your normal guy.
All right. I'm going to take my length of rope and
What?
tie. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm going to take a length of rope
Ah,
and I'm going to tie it to Filch's javelin.
all right, no need to yell.
Classic.
Okay. Then I'm going to thread the length of
What?
rope. Tom.
It's easy to forget that you guys have been doing this for 6 hours. Sometimes you press a button and a light starts flashing that usually doesn't.
I think you're doing a great job.
Okay, what's your plan, Hank?
Plan is to attach the length of rope to Filch's javelin,
Got
right?
it.
I'm then going to thread the length of rope through, attach it to the top of my wheel stick, which exists.
Yeah, you have,
Oh my
you have a
god.
trundle wheel.
Yep. I'm then going to get Filch to throw the javelin to Brusque.
So it's going to make a few 90-degree turns.
Yeah, a couple, at least three.
No, down the end of the down the end of the corridor.
So again, these rooms loop back on themselves. So unless you've got to poke it
Can
through
I see
the
the
arrow
map,
holes.
Dave? So
Yeah.
Is this it?
No. But you've got it. It's the
we got it?
I think it is that one.
yes, it is that one. Sorry.
Okay. So which one are we in? 6D, 6E, or 6B? Are we in 6C?
Yeah, you're in 60.
Oh,
We're in
right.
here.
All right, let's just bust down this wall then.
So we've got to get out of there and then back down the corridor.
And as I said 5 minutes ago, there is very little left to do but run.
Hey, how long would it take to knock down
What
a
are the
wall?
arrows made? What are the arrows made out of?
Magic.
Magic.
But what are they? What do they
What's the
materialize
magic
as?
made out of?
What is they?
They look like normal sort of arrows.
Are they
So
made
I
out of
think
wood?
your reloading
Yes.
thing is right. If we chuck a javelin down the corridor,
No, but
they'll all fire at the
No,
javelin.
but Dave is saying that because of the layout of this confusing map, which lays in on itself, we actually don't have a straight line between us and the exit. So we've got to go back.
Unless you poked it through the
into
arrow hole or something.
We've got to go back into the temple and then back out in order to get out.
Honestly, running was pretty fast, and while I did get torn up a bit, at least I'm not bloody in a temple with a fucking snake statue anymore.
All
Those
right,
things give me
Okay,
the
wait, they're all on
heebie-jeebies.
one wall?
No, as we
They're on
showed-
both walls.
Yep.
On
You
both
asked that
walls.
question 2
I
minutes ago.
think the clue was in when Dave said all there is to do is run.
No,
There's
let's
got, there
let's
must
think
be
this
something
through.
else.
Because it's probably a puzzle.
Wait, you can fly.
There's still the
can't you?
puzzle cube in this room, so
Well, we may as well. I'm going to pick up the puzzle cube.
Oh fuck!
May as bloody well.
it vanishes in green fire, and if anything, the archers fire faster.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, well that didn't work.
Well, I'm going to rethink the phrase may as well.
All you need to run. R-U-N.
Okay.
No, look, let them make
It's an
their own
anagram
decisions.
of earn.
Okay, I'm gonna run first. I just go.
I'm running after Bobby.
All right, you're going
I'm
first.
yelling. I'm yelling backwards that he's actually running second because I was the first. to
Okay.
run.
I'm afraid 3 of them hit you, Bobby.
Okay.
Which means that you take.
Despite my halfling nimbleness and my
That is true.
dashing ability.
So you're actually no. Your halfling nimbleness means that you can half this. So you actually take 13. Because you can see where it's coming from. So it would have been 18 points of damage, but you can bring it down to 9.
That's very lucky.
You just need to roll for me quickly.
What are you down to, Bobby boy?
15.
Yep, awesome, that'll do. So you, using your reaction, you duck through and you take 9 points of damage, and you're racing your way through.
I'm pulling out my swords and like doing spinny stuff like a monk because
All
I
right,
am one.
You look amazing, but because you said you were running right after Bobby, the more effective part of the fact is that the arrows haven't relaunched yet.
Ah.
So you actually are fine, but you think, Baston thinks, it's because of the sword. So you come through to the other side, and you're like, I just cut them all up.
Yeah, yeah. And I go, you should spin your swords. I'm untouched.
Friezo, what's your armor class?
12.
Okay, mine's 14, so I'm gonna go first and take the damage, and then you can run straight after me.
Nice. I mean, thank you.
And I
Find everything that Filch does cute, including tanking the damage as a half-orc barbarian.
I just think it's a very nice thing to do for friends.
All right, so
It's
you're
a
going
very
first?
nice thing to do for friends. I race
Oof.
through.
All right, you get hit by 4 of them.
See if I can.
All right. It's cocky, but you take 29 points of damage.
Oh, I only had 30.
Serious?
I'm now rethinking the phrase. See if I can.
You've got the healing potion, though, I believe, Al.
No, I've got it.
that's
It's
not
mine.
Does.
All right,
Alright.
Frieza, are you doing
I'm on
anything?
one
Are you
hit
doing
point.
anything while Filch is running?
I've got
I'm
more
gonna
holes
cast.
in me than a sieve.
I'm gonna cast invisibility and then run after Filch.
All right, so that's going to take some time to cast the spell.
It will take
Time enough for the
exactly-
snake statue.
So my
to
sacrifice is for
reload.
nothing.
Can't you just...
He could. Absolutely, he could.
Yeah, all right. Oh, yeah,
Why don't you just fly out right close to the ceiling?
because they can aim. Dave said.
So are you running just behind her?
Yeah, fine. I'll just. Run
Or are you
behind
going to wait? And
No,
cast
no,
the
no.
spell?
I'll run behind her.
Either,
Yeah.
just either one's fine. Which one do you do?
I'm running behind her.
Okay, so you run behind. So the arrows haven't come back yet. You tanked the damage. Well done. And you guys make your way out, battered, bruised, and in Filch's case, almost dying, but not broken. Where you see a Dabaski very noisily clipping its claws.
Hello.
Why would you clip your claws?
Because he's in
Surely
public. He's an old person.
He also
I'm just going to leave them here on the ground.
is the Tabaxi also wearing like a promotional hat for a radio station?
How big and sharp is a
I've got
tabaxi
tickets
claw?
to see Milo Yiannopoulos.
How big and sharp is a tabaxi claw?
They're like cat claws.
But like big?
Yeah,
Like
pretty big.
human size.
Human size.
Don't
Yeah.
collect that.
But
claws.
not as big.
I'm gonna collect them.
But not as big as a
No.
Velociraptor from
Okay.
Jurassic Park.
So
I-
they're
Hey,
basically
Toshi,
toenails.
gimme.
I just hit him on the hand with my soft little fingers and I say, you fucking creep. They're for the ground. For people to step on and reevaluate what they're doing. Being barefoot.
So who's sick?
Me.
I got 6
Incredibly.
points.
You got 6.
I got 1.
You got 1. Can they split it?
We
No.
get half a potion.
No,
each?
you can drink. Yeah, sure. You want to do that?
Yeah, why not?
Well, how much?
Will
yeah.
it still work?
Yeah, it'll work.
Why doesn't Bobby put it in his mouth and then it into Filch's mouth?
Okay, well, you don't need to do that. You guys get 12 hit points back each.
Oh,
12
great.
each.
All right, it's a potion of greater healing.
I
So,
just tried to drink my microphone.
well, that's unfortunate for you.
Does the potion refill, Dave?
Sorry?
Does the potion refill?
No, you're thinking of your alchemy jug, which
Yeah,
you
but-
still have.
Yeah. Anyone? Mayonnaise, anyone?
No,
Once
it's
a day.
It's a new day. Why don't we say healing potion into the jar?
No, he doesn't
It
do magic.
do magic.
That's why you need honey.
Just
And
do
man-
Panadol.
Honey.
As you come out, you realize you've spent a little bit more time in this shrine than you meant, or perhaps time works slightly differently. For the sun has now set, and it is night in this ravine. And suddenly the boulevard looks a lot scarier. Although the benefit of nighttime, I suppose, is that you
Filch
won't
Street.
see the torches of patrols. It'll be easier for you to evade the mercenaries.
Should we take the roofs again?
Let's go and have a keep in the bloody temple.
The one that we just ran out of?
Yeah.
No. Let's not.
Okay.
So we've been to 5 temples now.
You have.
One
Well-
of them was already sacked by the yellow
And it's
dude.
gracious of you to admit that you didn't do that one by yourselves.
Do we want to so how many temples are there all up?
9.
9.
So we need to do one more. So I think we should.
Should we just forge ahead?
Let's just do this last one and then we can
Okay, you are starting to get tired. You will begin to get exhausted. So you keep
Nah,
walking
let's
through
go
them.
to bed. I'm sleepy.
Well,
I've
why
got so
don't-
many holes in me.
Why don't we head towards that one and then make camp so we can keep an eye on it?
Cool.
Okay.
So what do you want to do? Lava one or northern one?
Well, that one's the closest, isn't it?
Yeah. All right.
Let's go to the closest
We're
one.
going to the northern.
The
one.
non-lava
You keep
one.
going up the boulevard. All right.
Good.
You make your way up the boulevard, and as you do,
What's that, Alex?
What's that, Alex?
It was.
And what's that?
What's that from?
Hello.
Fly flagged for copyright.
Sorry.
Again.
Just for Simon. What?
A Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green
Day. It's from the
I
album.
love your life.
It's from the album where they kind of went a little
You
less punky, a little more emo.
the time of your life. Have the time of your life.
American idiot.
I'm an American idiot. Wake me up when time of your life.
As the Dragon Friends make their way, humming that popular bardic song, Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
By Greensleeves.
Played on. Can I just point out? Played on a grand piano.
Well done, Benny. Thank you,
Just
Benny.
to remind
The
ourselves.
actually, yeah, no, Mr. Benny Davis. That was
While Tom tries to distract me with the wrong words and melody.
Bobby.
All right to me.
You make your way. You suddenly notice again, slightly the more perceptive one of you, something that none of the others see, which is a tiny dancing point of light.
I thought you were going to say something else.
In
Tiny dancing ball of light.
that you've spotted now. You actually first almost miss it as you cross an alleyway, and then you see it again and again, and you realize that there is some small glowing thing that is traveling alongside. You guys quite all right?
All right, class, calm down.
Eden said something and it didn't get any attention.
No, it totally doesn't need any attention. Hold me closer, tiny dancing ball of light.
Not everything can start a sing-along, Eden.
All right, guys.
LA, baby.
Yeah.
Ballerina.
Mercy.
Oh, this looks like a fun Twitch channel. I wonder what this is.
Dancing in the sand.
Why is this tag Dungeons and Dragons?
Now she's in me.
This is the
Always
This is the
with
official
me.
Wizards of the Coast
Tiny
channel.
dancing ball of light in my hand.
This is bullshit.
If you've just joined us here on this channel, this is.
Life is so real, lying here, no one near, only you, and you can hear me, and I say sorry.
This is for all of
So
you.
long for the chorus.
Sorry.
And all together.
Hold me closer, tiny dancing ball of light. Count the headlights down on Field Street. Lay me down in sheets of yellow fabric.
Shut up, all of you!
Had a busy day today.
Oh, Ben's gone to sleep. Look.
I let you have a good thing and you take it too far every time.
Chorus.
Bobby, you see a tiny ball of light and you realize that it has... Shut the fuck up. That it has been tailing you.
Tiny ball of light has been following me.
Yes, a tiny ball of light.
Is it in the distance or do I?
As opposed to a great ball of fire.
You take my nerves and you matter my breath. The long love that I made it say. You broke my will, but pulling through. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
And it's clear that no one here remembers how that song goes.
It's about spending a spell slot.
Sorry.
Here we go.
Everything's fine.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Is it a tiny ball near us or is it a big ball far away?
It looks like a tiny point and it's very close.
Okay.
If you've just joined us and there's been a weird edit point in the show,
It's for legal reasons.
Just imagine us watching the stream back going, that is not as funny as we thought it was. In the cold light of day.
All right.
Okay,
So
here we
there's a
go.
ball of light.
And that's all the time we have.
Yeah, cool. I approach it.
All right. As you approach it, you sort of break off. You say anything to the others, or do you just let them go?
I just follow it.
Great. So you guys keep sort of going on, singing obnoxiously to yourselves. And as you do, Bobby, you sort of duck off into a side alleyway. And the figure sees and notices you and sort of stands bolt upright. And you realize as you get closer that if you get much closer, you become worried it will run away. It looks like a very tiny little sprite. And it has a kind of strange, quizzical mask. In fact, you might know what this is. So why don't you make for me quickly just... Do you have like a survival? Just wisdom.
Let's say.
Not enough. 9.
9.
No, so you don't know what this is, but you realize it must be some kind of spirit native to this place or this land.
I fish into my.
And it's about this big, and it's glowing.
And I get a little bit of food out, and I put it on the end of my hand. And I'm like,
It backs off 3 steps.
I'm like, hey buddy, it's cool. Come on.
It,
You hungry?
It looks at you. It looks at your hand, and then it looks at the ground in front of it.
I just slowly place the food on the ground and crouch down and just put it down and take a step back and wait.
It waits for a second, looks at you, and then it feints to grab the food. And then when you don't move, it very slowly grabs the food. And then it looks at you again, and then it turns around, and it runs back underneath a wagon that is sitting by the side of the alleyway.
I go and take a little morsel and put it just by the wagon and step back and I say, there's plenty more where that came from.
What is this food, by the way? Oh, this is something...
we've got sort of rations.
You got
from
some food, actually, from... Yeah, the Brotherhood gave you some food, too.
It's
So
really
what is
posh stuff. It's like oysters and like abalone.
I've been carrying around oysters in the hot
You
sun.
smell horrible. The stinking sun.
I'm sure it's probably just hard tack.
Yeah, it's like that.
It finishes eating the oyster shell that it has, and it looks at the other oyster, and it waits for you to just drop a little bit of lemon juice in it, and then it sort of...
I get a dash of Tabasco and just like...
Yeah. And then it just pulls the other oyster shell underneath the wagon with it, and it looks at you again, and then it cocks its head to the side, almost unnaturally so, as if it's sizing you up. And then it turns...
I raise my palms open like this, which is a sign of goodwill and non-threateningness.
And an invisible wall.
Yeah, and I do an elaborate mime for it where I'm like...
It's the
going through a wall.
international symbol for being trapped in a glass box.
And I find a window, and I look through, and I
Get-
go... And I say, hello!
You get the sense that while it is grateful for the food, it has limited patience for your bullshit. But it
Real Dave.
But it but it decides that it seems like happy that you have offered it some food. And after consideration, it walks over and it kicks a slab that you wouldn't have noticed otherwise that is sitting flush against the flagstones of the street. But now you realize there's actually a slab on top of the road. And then it grabs the other oyster and it pulls it under the wagon and from there under a house and disappears. And very soon you lose sight of it.
All right. Well, I go to the slab and I lift it up and have a look.
It's
check it out.
actually quite big slab. You'll probably need some help.
All right. I call
Being
out.
just a little halfling.
Ooh.
Being just a puny little
Yeah.
halfling.
Hey
Not
guys,
cool, Dave.
I think I have a clue from a magical friend. Anyway, guys,
The singing stops.
What, man? We were having a good time.
hey Baston, chill. We're still on a mission. I think this might be a clue to help us out. Give me a hand with this slab. Cool.
Me will only help you if you give me oysters.
I gave all my oysters to a tiny glowing bug.
What? I was waiting for them to get
Your
nice
2
and stinky.
oysters. The 2 oysters
I'm
you
just a
carried.
little halfling. I only need 2 oysters.
Why-
Is that your Dave voice? Is your Dave voice Dr. Evil?
It's me, Dave. No, I'm not making fun of anyone. I just did a dumb voice.
I will call you little halfling.
Is that Michael?
Is your mic?
Dave.
I think you'd call that quarterling, or like an eighthling or something.
La.
We're down one, Tom.
I think I've probably been turned off to just preserve the sanctity.
There
of the
we
screen.
go.
There we go.
Back.
So
I'm 102. What did I miss?
I'll come over and I will give Eden a beer and
Thank you very much.
lift the slab.
All right, so very easily, insultingly easily filled. You pick up the slab and you
I
slam.
don't take it as an insult.
Yeah, I'm cool about it.
Yeah, I'm cool about
We've
it
all
too.
got our skills.
Yeah,
People
we
have
bring
their
things
different to the
things.
table, yeah.
For
It's,
example, I'm Dave.
Use your
Dave.
microphone.
you've had 1.5 small beers.
That will be inaudible.
Yep.
Look at me.
Dave, grant us a wish quickly.
Yeah.
No wishes for anyone.
Oh, the power of Dave.
I lift it up and then I peer in.
Okay,
What-
you
what
can
does it
see it's a
say?
big slab. It's too big sort of to comfortably carry with you. And it looks very old, and you realize that it's been obviously lost here for a long time. And it seems to be some kind of royal decree. But what is really... The slab is, but what is really exciting about it is that it is... Actually, it's not a decree, it's actually a fable, it's a story. But it's also been written twice. At the top, it's been written in the Draconic language, which was used by the Low Chiltern people as a sort of holy language. And then below that, it's written in ancient Omoan cuneiform, which is a language which has been completely lost to time. Presumably the same story.
So this is the Rosetta Stone of ancient Omoan.
Or it's the Omoans mocking it by rewriting the story and being like, and then it happened.
It's actually the same story, and it's just written this way, but you're meant to read it in a sarcastic voice.
I'm the king.
So which
can we read the English, the common version?
You can, and
I'll
as
get
you
Bobby to
correctly
do it for
said,
me.
that also means that you now have the you can use this to decipher ancient Omoan. So you can take a copy of it. You can have a little look there. You don't need to read the whole thing now if you want to, but you take down the entire story.
Yep.
You want to nutshell it for us?
Sure.
Can Filch read?
No.
So I think someone...
Someone.
yeah, okay.
Do they have to humor
It's boring.
Yeah, shut up.
And Filch eats it.
Wow, we found boring stone.
Why don't you give it to someone who can read?
I'll give it to Bobby.
Okay.
was the plan not to have a rest before we go to this next temple, though? So
It could be a bedtime story.
So you guys can rest now if you want. Yeah.
Let's
All
have
right,
a-
let's
yeah.
find somewhere away.
This alleyway's quite nice and it's out of the way.
Yeah,
Let's set up
just
camp
something
here.
that can't be seen from the boulevard, so no wanderers by.
You got the wagon and stuff you can sort of
Yeah.
get behind there, and you've got
Alright.
bedrolls and things that
Is
you
the wagon abandoned?
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything left in it? Is there
No, it's it's been 90 years, so
Alright,
it's
cool.
pretty much empty.
So let's sleep the night in the wagon. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So you guys, some of you in the wagon, some of you under the wagon, and
Everyone in the wagon.
I'll go in the wagon if everyone else is going in the
five
wagon.
people in the wagon.
Apparently there was a saying about joining this wagon.
Ooh. I want to be a part of your wagon.
Yeah, that's the one.
Cool.
Meanwhile, Bobby stays up a little bit to read and try to make sense of the
Should I
manuscript.
just read it out loud for everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you want.
Long ago, Father Uptow hardened his heart and vowed to weep for the... Good night, Filch. And I give her a little kiss on her forehead. And vowed to weep for her people of Omu no longer. The rain stopped, the jungles withered and died, and death swept through Omu. As morning broke, Obolaka emerged from her hollow tree with a plan. She would cook Uptow a stew made from all of Umu's best qualities. Ijin agreed to help gather the ingredients, but Ijin is reckless, and she gathered recklessness for the pot. Lazy.
Yeah.
Thinking it good.
Get a new trick, Ejin.
Uptown spat out the stew in anger, and this is why Ijin and Obolaka can never be friends. At noon, Shigambi, who is wise, saw the evil in Umu's heart and decided to lance it like a boil. She fashioned a spear but left it by the riverbank, so Nang Nang stole it, but Nang Nang values shiny things above all else. Shigambi, in her anger, chased Nang Nang across the... This is nonsense.
But they probably all correspond to the trickster gods. So we just have to figure out who's called.
Yeah. So I think we can save the story, but we can use that stone to decipher any runes we come across now, right, Dave?
Yeah. So if you're gonna just take a card, like write it down.
Yeah. We take a copy.
Take
of
a
it.
rubbing.
Let's do a rubbing on the
Yeah,
tent
rubbing,
canvas.
All right. That's great. So sure, you guys take a rubbing of the cuneiform.
Rub.
Bloody, I used to take a rubbing back when I was young. On my penis from sexual partners. The barbs would catch them, but they'd come through swinging. Anyway, I'm 102. It had been a while since I said something.
Do you remember how long ago
I'm
it
a
was?
cat.
Do you remember how long ago it was that we made that joke about the monkeys jacking it? That was like yesterday.
Oh my god. So you take a rubbing, and yes, you're quite right. This seems to be a story of the nine gods, and it's a story that shows how when Ubtao left, the rain stopped and the people began to starve. But the nine gods fought amongst themselves, and when the fighting stopped, they had made Ubtao cry, and when Ubtao cried, the rains came back, and the people erected monuments. So it's just the ancient story of the nine gods.
So the mythology is the god left, then some like demigods sprang up, were so awful that they made the god who left cry, and everyone celebrated.
Yes, that is the rich history of this place.
That's some sad shit, guys.
So who's the snake man? Oh, he's the
I think
spellplay
Unk
guy.
is a snake because she slithered to the surface.
Oh, but also that big story happened like ages and ages before the Snake Man did the whole spell plague thing, right?
Oh, yeah, Snake
Yes,
Man is
Snake
like
Man
a-
is not to do with this, right?
He's
He's a
recent.
warlord.
So while everyone's sort of bunking in the caravan, in the
And
wagon,
anyone who sleeps tonight, by the way, this is a long rest. You get your hit points back.
Or
Good night.
to maximum.
Yep, that's
How's
fine.
everyone sleeping? I'm going top to tail with anyone who wants it.
What if there's enough room for you not to do that?
Will you like
yeah,
curl
you
up
know.
like in a ball and accidentally like sit on somebody's face to like?
Oh,
smile?
actually, yeah, that's right. In the middle of the night, Baston wakes up to me making muffins on his stomach.
But it's okay because he just trimmed his nails, so it's actually kind of pleasing.
I thought ahead. I had a plan. Knew I was going to touch you.
I'm
Right, old Greg.
102.
can Frieza take this opportunity to have a look at that spell book?
Yeah, you can.
Too much corn.
Too much corn.
Too much corn.
Too much corn.
What light are you using? What light are you using? Do you have a light source?
I got dark vision.
That won't let you read.
All right, I'll use the torch I
The
have.
torch,
there.
yeah. Okay.
Are you reading it under your blankets?
Because Frieza doesn't sleep.
This
he
will
just
mean
meditates.
yeah, I know you only need sort of 4 hours of meditation but that's again wizard spells. So if you want to actually heal, you're going to need to rest. Because are you injured?
You took like
barely.
8 hit points or something.
All right,
Well,
then
6. But if they're sleeping for 8, I can rest for 4, and that's the same.
Yeah.
For me.
Okay, so you can read probably 2 spells tonight.
All right. So I'll roll 2 dice, Dave.
Okay.
First one is a 1, and the second one is a 5.
All right.
So which spells are they?
So one of them is a spell that allows you to detect magic, which you're able to memorize.
We don't have. We have what? We haven't had that yet.
No, it's an important spell.
It seems.
You just got Bushy to sniff stuff for.
And be like, I don't know. Bye.
Good enough.
Is that number 1 or is that number 5?
That is number 1. And
Okay.
while you talk to yourselves, I will find out what spell number 2 is.
Ooh.
It's going to be corn related. That's where my money's going. Okay, so we're just camping out. Oh boy, it's really been a time, huh?
Hey, Friezo, now that you have detect magic.
Fine, Bobby. Whatever. That's cool.
Sorry, Baston. To be fair, you were a real dick to me before when I found a clue. So like.
Well, I gave you some like jizz potion. I'm going to bed.
I don't know what the personal dynamics here are, but that was pretty clearly him trying to just open up a general discussion.
Yeah, but it's fine.
And you cutting him off.
Here, keep touching my stomach.
There we go. You got a
now
nice core under all this insulation.
Thank you.
Friezo, now that you have, sorry, Baston, I apologize.
It's fine.
But now that you have detect magic, I found this pewter pendant and these beads down at the bottom of that.
Let me sniff them beads.
Hello, beads.
And
cut.
as you look up from your spellbook, as you were just writing down some notes on how to cast the 3rd level warlock spell Gaseous Form, which is a concentration spell and which will take you up to 1 hour. If you touch a creature, everything they are wearing, including yourself, everything they're wearing and carrying becomes a misty cloud with 0 hit points, a flying speed of 10 feet that can go anywhere that mist would be able to go.
And what if it passes a cornfield or
This spell
Makes
is
it intimidating.
or a sort of silo full of corn or whatever?
Or any kind of like sort of staple grain.
Can we please just keep this relevant to corn?
Yeah, please go.
well, you'll have to cast it in a cornfield to see what it does. But presumably it helps the crops.
Are any of my objects
So it's
magic?
called gaseous form. And
Yep, and it's sort of like it's sort of like an Alex Mack at high temperatures.
Yeah, and if you mix yourself with cornmeal, you would become polenta.
Some,
Yeah, I
some
suppose
fans,
that's
some
polenta.
fans of the
That's-
forms of matter in the audience. Sorry.
we will say that if you have a pocket full of corn, you become a delicious polenta.
What?
Polenta
Michael, you
form.
love
Do you become a
polenta.
sentient polenta?
When we went recently and did a show in Adelaide at the Hybrid World Festival, which was really fun. And we were all trying to work out what we were going to do in Adelaide, which has some lovely restaurants. And Ying was like, guys, I've actually been to Adelaide before. I go here for the comedy festival. I know a really great place in the city. We'll go. And we all went, oh, yeah, that's great. And he's like, yeah, it's a polenta restaurant. And we all went, ah.
But
Oh, best bloody polenta restaurant.
it was a
Of that,
very
right?
good
bloody
polenta
good.
If
restaurant.
you're ever in Adelaide, go to the Polenta Kitchen. It's good.
Oh.
All right.
And sorry, if they haven't been sponsoring us this whole time,
Yes.
don't
Yes,
do that.
Don't. Absolutely.
What did you guys get?
What?
Oh, we had a variety
Who's got
of
the steak?
things.
Yeah.
There's like the ragu was very good. Ragu with polenta. All right, moving on.
All right.
Dungeons and Dragons.
So I've got Detect Magic. I've got Gassy Form. I'm going to cast Detect Magic on Bobby's pendant.
And beads.
And beads. Pendant and beads.
Okay, so the pendant does seem to exude a kind of magical power. The beads seem only decorative, but they do look very valuable. They sort of glitter in the light.
Can you tell what kind of magic the pendant is? Like, does Detect Magic give you any like information?
It has an enchantment magic. It gives you. It tells you the school of the magic,
Do I have to roll
which means it is a
anything, or-
magic that sort of. You're fine, and it's a magic that improves the user somehow.
All right, I put it around my neck.
Okay, this is an amulet of protection. It gives you just flat +2 armor class,
Dibs.
so your armor class improves.
Cool. All right, so let's all take this time to
Oh,
rest.
can you check out my magic wand?
Yes, I will do that. I will do that in exchange for
Nope,
the
you
rod.
did it.
And
Nope,
it starts.
you did it for Bobby for free. You're doing this for me for free. Also, I took so many arrows for you.
She
you
still has.
ungrateful
Phil
dick.
still has like 6 arrows sticking in
She's
her.
like a big old porcupine.
Oh, I'm all sleepy now. I'm sorry.
Detect.
Ah, fine. I detect magic on the wand.
Okay, so you know that this is an arcane focus, but it is a non-magical arcane focus, it seems.
Phil, I'm sorry to tell you this is not
Actually, no,
magic.
this is more fun. I've come up with a different idea. I'm going to invoke that right. You look at it and you detect that it is in fact it is a magical arcane focus that adds +1 to the ability to do any spells that it casts.
I wonder if Filge would believe me if I told her. Filge, this is a magical wand,
Goody.
and it has +1. It helps. It makes it easier for you to cast spells.
How many spells inside?
No, there's no spells inside the
I
wand.
shake it a bit and me think maybe there's about 4.
There's no spells inside the wand.
It's a wand, so there's spells.
No, it's not how it works. It's not how it works.
Me think we would know. Me a wizard. So.
All right, well,
Maybe if me crack one, spells come out.
yeah, no. If you bust it open, maybe you'll find some spells. But I don't think there's any spells in there, so don't crack it open.
No, if me bust it open, you'll steal all the spells that come out. And I go to sleep with it under my head.
The first one that Filge found was one of those sticks that goes, yeah. It's like you can hear the magic going from one side.
I used to be able to do that noise really well. Do you hear it?
No.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on.
Wait.
It's not that good.
No, it's not.
it's
How
not.
many hours did you spend
You're right, you
perfecting
didn't
that
used
bit?
to be able to do that really well.
And
Is
so
every-
we rest.
Now, here's the question though: if you need to rest all night because you guys you're quite exhausted to get stop it. But that means nobody can take watch. Is anybody going to take watch?
I cut down some
Probably that cat boy, I reckon.
some boughs and cover us with them.
Congratulations, you've hidden the wagon.
Yes.
It's always covering with boughs.
Yeah.
Where do you
What
get the
else
boughs
was
from
it?
in the middle of the city?
Old
Where'd
dudes
you
don't
not
sleep.
get them from?
Get the
Yeah, if I was a bandit, I'd be looking for the one bare tree.
get
They're
Those
over.
are
close.
recently chopped limbs.
I think the old dude should do it. Old men don't sleep.
Catman, stay up.
Me?
Yeah.
I've got a name, as you well know, and an age.
Bruce,
102.
All right, you know the 2 things that are important about me. I'll stay
don't you
up.
want to look out for the T-Rex?
All right. Staying up late's just like getting up early, and old people love it.
All right. The night passes, however, without incident, with you watching out for them, and soon the sun rises again, and you all get up about an hour before the sun has properly risen. So when it's still in the low light of morning.
All right,
Ugh,
let's head.
stinking sun.
I said to everyone, hey, all right, let's go to this temple. Come on. We've got one more to do, and then we can go and win the cubes.
So you make your way out to the boulevard and you start heading towards the temple. There doesn't seem to be any mercenaries nearby, and soon you arrive at the obelisks. Familiar again, you can see these are shaped in the figures of giant snails, each of them with a powerful kind of club on a tentacle on the back of their heads, risen up as if in anger. But between the obelisks is a familiar figure with a yellow drape wrapped around him, and another figure beside him of a sallow, scowling rogue with one arm, which you recognize is Sir Brixton and his rogue associate, Druthers.
Did he used to not have one arm?
Druthers always had one arm.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Ah, cube friends. How are you?
So we're calling each other now?
Well, I thought it was nice. Cube friends. You know,
Cute friend.
friendly cubes. 3x3.
So you got this one or?
How many cubes you got?
How many cubes you got?
How many I asked you first.
I asked you second.
4.
Ah.
Damn it. 5.
Yes.
What?
Well, I happen to have in my hot little hands here something of much interest to the Waterdavian Society. I have 4 cubes as well.
So we win. Dinner's on you.
Can you do? Did you ever study maths?
When people say that to you, it means they're very impressed with your maths.
As a matter of fact, I did.
Well, I've got the ibis. That was an awful one. Ugh. I've got the sneaky little boy.
It's a bear. It's a tree bear.
It's basically a drop bear,
It's
right?
the sharp-clawed drop bear. Let me.
Did you have any trouble with the map at all?
Yeah, some idiot marked it wrong. Wasn't too hard though. I remembered sort of how he did it.
Cool.
It's sort of weird. You just got different
So
handwriting.
that's 2.
Got the frog.
Which frog? The tentacle frog? We've got that one.
We got a different one with the spears.
There's 2 different frogs?
Yeah, there's many different kinds of frogs.
There weren't enough animals in the forest?
Perhaps one is a toad. Oh, sorry. I'm Speaks Brusquely. I'm new.
Oh, hello, Speaks. I'm
old. 102 to be exact.
102. My word. And he starts getting really loud and right in his face. My word, 102. Well, you don't look a day over 101.
That's how he laughs now.
And nobody else laughs.
Anyway, the last one was this lion thing with snakes for heads.
Yeah, you already had
that one seems like a hard
We
one.
saw you. You had that when we started.
Yeah, I know. I just was really proud of it and wanted to say it again. It's a leopard.
I'll tell you,
Well, we got horny
ibis
rabbit. We got monkey with a
Horny
hat.
rabbit.
We got snake, dragon, and what else? And froggy, big frog.
Tiddalik.
Ah, well, here we are. The
Snake,
final
monkey,
one.
frog.
So you're just
Upside
about to
down.
head in?
How ironic that there should be a race for the snail. Just a little.
Well, we've already had our rest.
Bloody, this guy's funny. He's witty. You know, that's what I like about him. He doesn't need to be filthy like those new adventurer leaders.
I literally had a
It's
cab
just
driver
wordplay.
say that to me last night. Talking about comedy. Anyway.
Who said that to you?
Who was the
cab
comedian? Who was the
driver.
good comedian?
He didn't even have a
Does he
reference
love
for
Rodney
comedy.
Rude?
No, too rude.
Far too rude. Anyway, so it seems like we're at a bit of an impasse. We're about to go into the snail. That would make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes. To
Bobby
your
runs
1,
in.
2, 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Baston runs up and bars the door.
Okay. Quickly make dexterity, post dexterity. It feels like you guys have solved the way to do this is just when Ben is mid soliloquy to stab someone, choke someone, or run through. I rolled an 11. What did you guys get?
An 11.
Okay, well your dexterity is higher. So Bobby, you make your way through, but your dexterity is less than the range of Lord Brixton.
So I trip, and then falling also trip him.
No.
Cannon.
So Bobby, you dive in, and then he gets to the door beforehand, and he grabs you, Baston. And actually, at that point, Druthers, the rogue, also dashes through, and he gets through before you do. So you and Druthers both make your way into the temple. The rest of you, however, are with Brixton outside.
And Druthers is a sallow youth. Oh no, wait. Druthers
No,
is
he's
a
a
one-armed
sallow,
man.
he's a sallow, cowl, hooded man. He looks of indeterminate age, and he's missing an arm.
All right. Can we see into the temple at all?
No. So this is again two twin flanking obelisks, and it looks like it's guarded on all sides. It's actually sort of trapezium. There's also another small building off to the side, however,
An outhouse.
and it's a kind of a little shed.
Can I have a look at the map just quickly?
Yep. So it looks like that. It's just a big building,
Uh-huh.
and there's a little shed to the side.
All right, cool.
And can I see anything inside?
Yeah, I'm going to cut to you in a second, but
Okay, sorry.
for now, I'm going to have you guys outside.
With Bobby's going into that one, we should go Baston and Filge.
Should we tie Brixton to something?
Yeah, you guys deal with that. I'm going to gaseous form and head into the temple as well.
You're going to get past him using
nice.
gaseous form? Okay, so how does Brixton take all this?
He's not happy. He's almost a bit unsporting, chaps.
As the mist of Friezo goes through you.
Yeah, what's that? Oh, God, what's that? It smells like corn. Somebody cooking
Smells like
corn.
polenta.
Someone's cooking lovely corn. Look, I'm just saying we had an agreement, a gentleman's wager. I mean, I've could have kept up my side of the bargain. Don't know why all this.
Precisely. Our party member was in the temple first. We got here first.
Well, that's not strictly true, though,
it's
is
not
it, Sport?
strictly untrue.
And he blows a little whistle, and two figures appear. One of them is the cleric Sir Chesterfield Sofa that you recognized before, and the other is a wizard with a shaved head and a beard, but no eyebrows and no hair, in a red robe, who also appears next to him. And they flank, so there's three of you and there's three of them.
Did the wizard lose his eyebrows after making a
Why
mask
didn't you
out of
ask?
gaffer tape?
Fireball.
Yeah, it does look like somebody who's hasn't mastered fire magic yet. So while there is a bit of a impasse between you guys, we cut inside because the door slammed shut again the moment that Brixton arrived, and inside, immediately in darkness, is you, Bobby, and also somewhere in there, the rogue Druthers. And both of you suddenly... Do you have any dark vision?
I do not.
So neither does he as a human. So you were both suddenly in complete darkness, and you were feeling your way forward of what seems like a corridor.
Friezo's also in there, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Not yet, but you will be in a second. But otherwise, you see, it seems completely... You're just sort of crawling on your hands into what is presumably a death trap-filled maze, and Brixton slammed the door shut behind you.
Okay, tiny man. We can do this real easy.
That's suddenly a voice. Is that Druthers?
Yeah. I have a note here that says to Dave, and I will take
It said Druthers mute, and I looked at it, and then I crossed it out as I was talking.
And this is what you get.
All right, that's my fault.
Okay, tiny man. Let's be nice
I
about
take
this.
one of my 5 daggers and I fling it in the direction of the sound that I hear.
Okay, make attack with disadvantage.
That's a 6.
Okay, it doesn't. It
That'll be fine.
twang, and of course you can't throw a dagger with precision in the dark.
Thank you for the knife.
Tricks on you, mother liquor. I've got 4 more.
Well, I have
How is that so much worse?
I have one more than I did before. So that's nice.
Is it nice? You know what's nice?
What?
Sugar and spice. You know what's not nice?
What?
Each time, and I'm moving
While
closer
you're,
and closer.
while you're talking, because you've already just thrown a dagger at him, he's listening to your voice, and you're moving closer and closer when suddenly there is a rustle that seems like steel on silk, and a blade swings by and narrowly misses your ear, and you realize he's doing the same thing to you.
Give you a haircut, tiny man. Very fashionable, asymmetrical.
Give you a shave, old one-armed gross person.
Suddenly, you can feel the smell of corn in the air. And a figure coalesces in front of you. It is Friezo, naked as the day he was born.
No, still gas.
Oh, you're still gas?
Still gas.
All right, so it's just a puddle of corny gas around you.
And I'm going
Corn gas.
and my maze-like form will drift towards Druthers.
Could you put the gas inside him and then recoalesce in?
I'm gonna go in his lungs.
So you have low light vision, which would normally work, but unfortunately this is completely sealed now that the doors are closed.
Yep.
So it's just as dark for you.
That's fine. I can just feel my way around because I'm gassed.
So make a perception check for me with
How different are 2 sets of lungs, though, really?
disadvantage
17.
and disadvantage.
You
One
roll
more.
again.
Oh, right, another one. That's a 4.
Which is lower?
Such
I think
shit.
17 is.
All right, so you are still trying to find your way, and the three of you are dancing sort of around each other.
So we find ourselves in what I think is a corn silo. Last cube. Me and the famous Bobby Pancakes. I didn't go in talking like this.
He's slowly becoming Dr. Nick.
Bobby, you have an action.
I draw my sword and I just slash it. I just spin around in a circle.
Make an attack with disadvantage.
12.
Oh, the lowest is 12. That hits. Congratulations. So you suddenly slash out towards him, and because he can't see, you can't see. It's not a sneak attack, but you do actually hit him for D6 plus 4.
Roll for you.
And he screams in pain.
8.
8.
Owie!
And your sword is now lodged in his side.
I just run towards him, like run into the direction.
You
of my
rush
sword.
towards him. You rush towards him. You crash him to the ground, and now we cut just outside.
But my sword goes. Oh no, because it's spinning around.
And we cut outside to where Brixton is standing with his backs to the door, and his mage and his cleric are there, and so is Filge, Baston, and an 102-year-old. I'm starting to think racist tabaxi, or just very right wing.
I'm just old and I'm from a different time. 2 times removed, to be exact.
He's pre-spell plague.
He's also pre actually the fall of Chuld, but he was very young. For the fall of Omu.
Yeah.
Filge leans up against the wall, kind of over Brixton, and goes, "Now, Brixton. We could end this in an ugly way, but then you couldn't take me out for dinner, and wouldn't that be a shame?"
Well, I mean, regardless of who wins, there's a dinner, and I assume we'll be there. Just a
Yes, but
matter
if
of-
I kill you.
Oh, right, yes. No, I didn't realize that was the sort of...
You're still sussing out how bad this gentleman's wager has gone.
Yes, it wasn't exactly what I thought. I thought I was dealing with some like-minded fellows, you know?
I'm like-minded.
If Grimsby was here, he'd have the exact same thing. Go out and...
Ha!
Ha ha ha.
What's so
You
fun?
mean Sir Grimsby Davenpuddle?
No, I mean Sir Grimsby Davenport.
No, we
Actually, the Davenpuddles are a entirely different family. They're from Exeter. And,
Yeah, well, we'll kill them too.
Oh. They make cloth.
I think you're being unreasonable.
So you're saying you've killed Davenport?
Anna, is that what you're saying? She can't be saying that. Grimsby's a legend. He'd never allow himself
Yeah,
to
you're a
fall.
legend now, a dead one. So maybe you should have thought about who you were messing with.
He had an awful fall.
Yeah, such a shame.
Such a shame.
Such a shame. All of this happened before I got here. But,
I can see that
Yeah,
it
he
would
with
be a
us.
shock for you regardless of context clues and all that. Yeah, yeah, I could
You
see.
like to think the best of people, but sometimes... turns
What
out-
happened to him? What did he do?
He fell. I didn't see it, but then he was dead.
Well, why? What happened? He's one of the surest-footed men I know.
He got in the way, like you're doing with us right now.
Well, this is all a bit much. I mean, come now. We're just sort of a historical society looking for some artifacts. And yes, of course, if we sell them on, that might make a bit
bullying nerds.
Yeah, like always. Okay. Me gonna give you easy way, me gonna give you hard way.
Okay.
Hard way, me mash your brains into this wall with my maul. Me
Right.
didn't mean that to rhyme.
But it did, and that's marvelous.
Thank you. Well, way number 2,
Yes?
me show you a priceless tablet.
What sort of a priceless tablet are you talking about? I mean, look, actually, I don't care because the first one's so bad.
But me gonna show
The-
you
the
far
sec-
away from this temple.
The second one. The second
All
one.
right,
I'd like
come
to
with
see-
me.
Let's go to that cool shed over there.
All right, everybody. Everybody's fine.
Everybody going their own way. Everybody's got a
fine.
buddy.
We're all going together.
Yes, it's all nice here in
So,
the Lost City.
Baston, you're going to the shed. You're taking him to the tablet. And what are you doing?
What's Speaks doing?
Oh, me? Oh, yes. I'm following Baston.
All right, so you two are going into the shed.
With the
With the
I don't-
wizard?
with,
Wait,
with
aren't
the
we all-
wizard and the cleric.
The wizard and the cleric, actually, the cleric goes with Filge, but the wizard stays there to watch you, but is happy to let you into the to let you go into the shed.
Are you gonna be okay, Filge?
Right. So
Oh, are you going to be okay, Brixton? Yeah, I might be.
is that him getting angry at the wizard?
Yeah.
You see, this is how friends talk to each other.
Yeah,
Right? They
you
take
see
care
that?
of each other.
You see that? Didn't even have to ask.
You and I
Anyway,
were
it's
just
fine.
colleagues, really.
Yeah,
That's all we
that's
are.
fine.
All right, so you guys make your way down the street. You make your way into the shed.
What's
and
in the shed?
Inside the shed, as soon as the doors are open, you realize it's quite small. This stone sort of, it looks like a workshop. And hanging on hooks all the way around it are hundreds and hundreds of keys, each of them different, some of them old and rusty and decrepit, some of them still looking serviceable.
I take the clay one.
You're starting to think that everything in this is Indiana Jones?
It's the clay one, though,
Yeah.
isn't it?
They're all metal.
Oh.
And so, as I said, you see hundreds and hundreds of keys. And while you are taking this in, we go back to the room where you are wrestling on the ground with Druthers.
Why do you even seek the cube? You know nothing about it.
All I need to know, Druthers, is, and I just punch him in the face.
Ow! Can you put that in the form of a question?
It's an 11.
All right, 11. That's not quite enough. So you sort of miss and punch him, and he reels out and tries to reel out and fails, and you're still on the ground. What do you do, Friezo?
Friezo is going to go into his lungs in gaseous form.
Well, you can't get all of you into his lungs.
It's gas.
Yeah.
I can go anywhere gas can go, Dave.
Yeah, but like...
And either I turn human and kill him, or I choke him to death with this thing that is not oxygen.
All right, so some of you is in his lungs, and some of you is outside of his lungs.
Sure, but this gas, as we discussed, is not air. It's
Yep.
it's like corn gas or whatever.
It's everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just choking up his lungs.
You're in his lungs. Well, you're fine for now. He can still breathe through it, unless you would like to change back to a normal or whatever.
No, okay, there's no oxygen in corn gas, is there?
Oxygen can flow through your body easily.
All right, then I'm turning back into human, and I'm going to explode his lungs.
Okay. All right.
Oh my god.
So
This is going to be very.
no, it's
awful.
fine. It's fine. All right.
It's happening in the dark.
You break the spell, Friezo, and Druthers suddenly seems to make a strange noise as a naked Friezo materializes in front of you, Bobby, and
Like
his
chest bursting?
his wrist and past his elbow up to about here at his arm is down his throat. And Druthers can't breathe because your entire arm is sort of inside his digestive system.
His lungs.
Yeah, so you've got your hands like inside his lungs, I guess. And he starts to panic.
Well, now he's mute, so yeah.
And he's still alive and he's panicking.
I'm like, Bobby, run! I've got this. Go find the puzzle cube.
All right. I feel my way in the opposite direction, the direction that I was
Just
originally
kill
going
the
in.
poor bastard. Jesus Christ.
I'll do it in a second.
You're just racing into the room?
Yeah, I'm racing carefully.
Okay, so what is racing carefully? Is
like-
that hedging your bets?
Like what Ian's doing. Like light toes and just like arms
tiny steps,
touching
tiny
everywhere.
steps, tiny steps.
Yeah.
Quick, tiny steps, quick. You make your way into the room where you can see a giant statue.
So there's light in this room?
As you make your way into the room, you hit a sort of pressure-sensitive panel, and something opens in the light, and the room is bathed in a sort of diffuse glow. Just very low light, enough to see a figure of a statue with a metallic, shiny shell in the center of it, with 4 club-like stalks coming off of its head, and a fresco that shows a creature breaking forth out of the soil, like sort of slithering up to the surface with beautiful dazzling lights coming off it in a sort of beautiful strange iridescent patterns in the fresco. And hanging on the walls around it are 6 sconces, and in each of those sconces is a key, a brilliantly polished key.
I reach for the key.
There's 6 of them. Oh, and sorry, and at the foot of the snail is a hatch, and that hatch has a keyhole.
Okay. I think back to my Legend of the 9 Gods of Umu, and
Which you have a rubbing of in your pocket.
Yep.
Meanwhile, while you read that,
That was like
Friezo, you are standing naked as the day you were born, with your arm up to just below your shoulder, down the throat of a man who is no longer able to breathe and is starting to panic.
I'll just wait here till he dies.
Jeez.
What? What do you want me to do? Rip his lung out? My
Yes,
hand's
or
materialized
grab
in
his
lung.
heart,
I can't
or-
just, like-
He with his one arm, he weakly tries to push himself off you and flails around for a bit. It takes about 3 minutes for somebody to suffocate.
All right, I'll just slit his throat then, Dave, if I must.
Don't cut your arm.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. No, I'll just wait there and watch him choke out.
Oh my god. man.
You just naked.
What?
Do
The
anything
car,
else.
the
Twist
audience
his heart
is
off.
beginning to turn on you, Hing.
No, but
You know when the audience is yelling to you as an act of mercy, just rip his lungs out, that you've made some bad choices.
Tears are now pouring down his face,
Oh,
which is
Jesus
beginning
Christ.
to turn blue.
See, this is the thing. If you take a long time murdering someone, we connect with them.
Yeah.
yeah, kill him.
Yeah.
Oh well, look, just skip to the other people. Just
No, we're staying here.
The eye is on you,
You
cunt.
need to watch this. Oh god, well,
Leave with your choices.
Okay, can I take an arrow then and more carefully slit his throat?
You're
Is that...
naked.
No, because all my stuff turns into gas as well, so all my stuff turns back from me.
Yeah, but the particular weirdness of this spell is that when you rematerialize, all your stuff appears in a pile on the floor.
All right, well, with my other arm that isn't down the man's throat then, Dave...
Can he try and bite down on it? I'm sure he can.
He can't find a purchase.
If
His
he
jaw's
just took his arm
dislocated.
out, would he be okay?
It's
Sorry?
like an ultra mandible claw.
No, I
Yeah,
think
Rest
I
of
think it,
mankind.
Is he
Fucked.
human?
yeah, whatever happens.
All
I
right,
think
so
he's dead.
carefully, you pull forward until you find a sharp arrow, and you...
And I just slit the part of his throat just sort of there where his aorta would be or whatever, and just let him bleed out.
Okay, he bleeds all...
What? Sorry?
He
Oh, jugular. Sorry.
he
Thank you.
bleeds...
Thank you, terrifying stranger.
I believe I believe the vein or aorta you meant to cut was his
He
jugular.
bleeds all over you, Friezo. His body starts to spasm, and you hold it close to you as the lifeblood drains out onto you until you are nude and covered in blood with a stranger's body still trapped to your arm.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get dressed now.
How are you getting your arm out?
What?
Your arm is stuck in this guy. Oh, you thought you had a funny way to kill someone, and suddenly there are consequences.
All right. Well,
Meanwhile-
then-
Is your
arm
okay. Well,
just a body
I'm gonna
now?
slowly cut my arm out with the arrow then,
Okay.
Dave.
All right.
Just be
I will
careful,
cut
please.
away. I will cut away from that.
Thank
so
you.
Using an arrowhead, you are going to try and cut your arm free.
Of the of the yes.
So
of his
leaving your
respiratory
short
system,
sword
yes.
to the side. All right.
Because I
using-
just think that's gonna be too unwieldy. With this
All right. Great.
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Whichever I'm using,
No,
whichever.
you have to say.
We get some lovely fan art in the show where people draw scenes. Don't draw this scene. This scene is just
Meanwhile,
just for us. Meanwhile,
Baston can't decide which key to discard.
so the room seems to be full of keys. There's hundreds of them, too many to grab.
Does one have a snail? Is a snail key?
No, they're all unmarked.
Is there evidence that this was an ancient swingers party?
Get on the hook. Take
There
your
is
pants
a
off.
cum-covered bowl in the middle of the room.
About half of them are like so covered in like rust.
Cum.
Stop it! That
Do you think cum would oxidize metal over time, scientists? No.
Oh, stop it!
Okay, sorry.
It would be a thin film.
I can't stop it.
It'd make it pregnant.
Hold me
It's
closer.
where all the keys come from.
All right,
You
that's
can't
enough.
on a regular key.
No,
Dave,
Baston,
Dave.
you wasted your go.
No, I was waiting for a clue from you. I just needed a clue.
Do you want to do a little investigation check?
Yeah, I'm looking around. I'll roll the dice. Pew pew. 12.
12, yeah, 12. No, that won't do it. So you can't, for now, you are flummoxed.
Might I?
Yeah, all right, you can as well.
Old cat boy. May I roll for you, old cat boy?
Please.
18.
Okay, so you realize that while many of the keys are sort of differently, some of them are sort of look older and than the rest of them. However, interestingly, the very old keys are all rusted onto their hooks and rusted onto the walls, and these ones swing free. And there's probably about, well, there's 12 keys that you can that are of this design that you can get off the wall.
All right, I get the 12 keys that I can get off the wall.
So the old-looking keys that you can get off the wall.
Yes.
All right, so you have these 12 keys now.
Bloody look at old Jimmy 12 keys over here.
You.
All right.
Meanwhile,
I'm proud of you.
Bobby, you are
Do an
inside.
investigation check.
Yeah.
I will go back to you guys in a
sorry.
second because you've got a bit of time to walk.
2, 7. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
7.
All right, so as I said, there are these 6 keys on the walls and the sconces, and there is a keyhole at the base of the snail statue.
Are there any markers around the keys? Do they look different from each other in any way?
No,
Like runes or something? Or?
they are all identical, sort of angular-looking keys. They obviously all have different sort of teeth on them, but otherwise the keys are exactly the same size and shape, and they are. You can see also that there seems to be something written in draconic runes, although in the low light it's hard to see. Just above the snail,
So I can't see it, or I can just see it.
you can see it, but you can't read it. You need light.
Okay. So and there's a statue of the snail.
Yes, there's a statue of the snail with a metallic shield.
Okay, with a
A
metallic,
metallic shell. I'm
shell
sorry.
on it. And can I, if I push against the shell, can I rotate it in terms of where the light is and stuff to angle the light that's coming into the room?
It does actually seem to swivel on its base. That's
Okay,
correct.
can I
But
swivel?
there's no point of light coming through. As I said, it's a general diffuse light.
Can I swivel it around to see if I can get a good angle on the runes?
There's not enough light in the room
Okay.
to do that.
Okay.
Meanwhile, down by the wagon, Lord Brixton and your associates plus Filge are examining a tablet.
Yeah, look, I think it sort of goes without saying, by the way, old sport, that if you were to still bludgeon my brains out after this little deal, it wouldn't quite be cricket, though, would it?
Absolutely not. We've made a deal.
Yes, well, here's the... What is it? What do you call it? The find, the discovery? Where's this sort of archaeological find of the century you're talking about?
This tablet.
What? And then he looks. He goes, well, this can't be. I mean, is this a joke? Is this some sort of laugh? Are you having a jape? Are you being a jackanape? Are you being a... This is ballyhoo?
And as he does that, he takes out a piece of wax paper and he starts making a very quick
You can't
rubbing.
be serious about this. I mean, this is so stupid. It's obviously a fraud.
I'm just going to make a rubbing.
Yeah,
Very
just-
fake.
I think the chaps back home will find this quite amusing that you found such an obvious fraud, and he puts it in, rubbing it in his pocket. But anyway, thank you very much for your time.
No, we stay here. Me think you should examine it a little more.
Well, I'm sort of asking me to do that, in a way.
Let's sit down, have a brandy, read some cuneiform, just see what happens.
Yes, well, I suppose there's no harm in that.
It's just really sinister. And I say that in a scene where elsewhere you're cutting open the skin of a dead rogue.
Mm-hmm.
But
It must be such a tragedy for that guy as well, because he always wanted an arm.
Just not there.
Friezo.
I should have been more careful with my wording to that genie.
Friezo, you hurriedly dress yourself and you walk wearily into the central chamber where Bobby is examining the snail. Friezo is covered in blood. More blood than you...
I feel like only my arm would be covered in blood. Or
Your arm is
Did it splatter back?
covered in blood. Your other hand to the wrist is covered in blood. And there's a bit of splatterback as well.
Okay. Well, I am going to... no questions, Bobby. I am going...
Used to this.
to use a prestidigitation to...
Create some light?
To light my torch.
Yep.
And then we're going to read the runes.
Okay, so the light, so the torch sparks in, and you can read now above the a sign that says, "The god demands we contrast all options before acting."
The god demands we contrast all options.
Contrast or contrast? Contrast.
Contrast.
Contrast. And is there anything else in the room?
Just the 6 keys hanging
Yep.
on the hooks,
Yep.
and this kind of revolving snail statue.
Okay. So let's...
And where's the keyhole?
The keyhole is at the base of the statue.
And is there anything else on the statue where we can, like, are there anywhere else we can put the keys? Anywhere else?
Just as I said, the fact that its shell is made of metal and it's made of stone, and the keyhole, but other than that, it doesn't seem to be anything.
Are Baston and Catboy inside?
No, I'm just staying with these guys for now.
Okay. Unless you can think of something, I guess we just start trying keys.
Yeah, let's just start trying keys.
Okay. I try key number
Roll a d6, I guess.
You can just tell me which one.
3.
All right, so you try a key, and you need to force it to try and fit in. It doesn't feel like it fits in naturally.
Okay, as it's not fitting in, I rotate the statue around and see if it kind of like lets
very
lock
clever.
into a particular and keep some pressure on it to see if it locks in at a different angle.
Very clever, but that unfortunately doesn't work. That doesn't
Okay.
do anything. And about this time, you can try a few more keys if you want.
Yeah,
or are you going
I'll-
to turn it? As I
Sorry?
said, you feel like you forced it in.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try the other keys.
Okay, so you try the other keys, and by the time that you've tried the 12th key, they all get in there, but they all feel like they're not. It doesn't
I put
feel.
all the keys together and shove them in there.
So, wait, there's 6 keys or 12 keys?
There's 6 keys.
6 keys. So I put all the keys together so that they're parallel, so all the teeth are lined up, and I put them into the keyhole.
Okay, so when you put all the keys together so that they're lined up, they fit together perfectly. What? But they don't. They're obviously now too wide to go into the keyhole. And at about this time, you guys have made your way into, followed by the mage who doesn't say anything.
Hey guys, I found the only keys you're going to see today. Oh.
All right, so let's look at the...
Wearing them around your neck like a necklace.
So let's get the 6 keys that that Bruscally has
It
and
was
line
12 keys.
Oh. Okay, well, let's get 6 of those keys and line them up with the 6 keys we have.
Yep, the keys that he has all actually are the same size as yours, and they also feel like they line up. But they're
Okay.
slightly different color.
So let's put the keys... we'll have 6 piles, and each the first key in each pile will be from Bobby's keys, and then we'll take 2 keys.
So Bobby's keys are one color, and all of his are the other colors.
Yeah, so let's take 2 keys from each of the. Let's take 2 of each of Brusque's keys and put them in stacks of 3. And do we see any patterns?
Some of them overlap kind of uselessly. Your ones all kaleidoscope together really nicely. These don't do that, but they are all the same size key.
And the god demands we contrast all options before acting. Yes, that was the
that was the line.
We tried
all options.
Shall we
Maybe.
try the same with these keys? The
Yeah,
new keys?
can I try and put my 12 keys in the keyhole?
So
Just
is
one
it-
after the other?
You can. Some of so you try all the keys. They fit into it. All of them sort of do. Because again, these keys are all the same size. So you have 18 keys that fit it. Yours feel strange when they go in, and as I said, your ones, when you put them together, they sort of kaleidoscope together. They fit together really, really nicely, but they obviously can't be used as a key like that.
Is there anywhere else in the room where there's another keyhole?
How
Is there
about-
something on the shell?
Oh yeah, look around the shell, the edge of the shell, the silver shell.
It's fine. It's seamless to the stone.
With all the keys tapped together, I hit it with all the keys in their locked position.
It makes a little ting sound.
Okay, satisfying.
But there's no other keyholes.
No.
Is the statue attached to the ground?
It revolves on a central line.
So why do we think why does the statue revolve then?
I think that I don't know. There's in the story. There's the statue of the shell. Sorry, the shell's the reflection of light on the shell made Omu's Uptow's eyes water. So there's something about the reflection of the shell in the original story that.
Is there anything else around the edge of the room that we haven't seen yet, Dave? Or it's
You've
just the room.
You've got everything now here.
Okay.
What happens if we put one key in? So, what do the different colored keys kind of like tessellate to make one big key with the
You want to
shiny
compare
keys?
a key to the...
Yeah, compare...
All right, so you're going to take the keys and compare them to the stack of 6?
Yeah.
All right, so you start sitting there and sifting through, Baston, and one of the keys perfectly fits the pattern of the 6 tessellated keys.
Oh, that's what I did before.
One of the...
You took 2 random keys and you put them with one
No,
key.
I used the Bobby's keys to make 6 stacks, and then I used the other 2 keys to each of them to measure them all up.
Yeah, that's
So
slightly
there's one
different.
key that
But there's
mimics
one
the
that-
teeth
one
of
key-
One
the
key's
6
teeth
keys
are
together.
the same as all the 6 keys overlapping.
Oh, let's use that one then.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
try
okay.
that.
Well, that's
Yep.
the one.
All
Let's
right,
use
so
that
you
one.
take the key and you put it into the lock.
Yeah,
and
let's
sort
put that one in, guys.
I'm 102.
You are indeed. All right, so do we turn the thing and turn the key at the same time?
Yeah,
We
so
turn the
does
statue.
it turn in the lock?
It seems to turn, yeah.
Okay, so we turn it.
Right, you turn it, and suddenly the snail seems to move as of its own accord, and it starts fighting against your hands because it's trying to revolve itself.
Okay.
I think
let
we
go?
let it go.
Let it go,
Yeah, we're just turning the key, not the actual statue.
Yep. So and
Yeah.
the statue starts spinning
Yep.
and spinning as itself, and at that point, a skylight opens up, and a beam of light hits the reflective shield, where it refracts and it bounces in 8 spots and hits little mirrors concealed in the corners of the pentagonal room, and 3 others that I guess are just on the flats of the wall, whatever. And those lights then coalesce into a point on the wall.
What's around that point?
It looks from where you're standing just like a part of wall.
Let's go touch it.
Yeah, can I reach it?
You reach it and you touch it?
Yep.
You touch it and it depresses in slightly and then opens out like a little shelf. And on that shelf is a puzzle cube.
Right.
A very tired audience.
Get it?
Take it, let's go.
I'm like, guys, let's start moving out of here. And I grab it and run.
Yeah, you take the puzzle cube and the shelf seems to open itself up again, so it closes itself up again, and you guys run out of the room. And I have to say, that is the most competent shrine solved yet. And a pity it will be your last one, for you have bested 5 of the remaining 5 shrines of the 9 trickster gods, and you have the 5th puzzle cube in your hands. And as you burst out into the courtyard, you find yourself face to face with the wizard who has waited there, and in his hand is a scroll, and he's pointing a finger at you somewhat smugly.
I would like that, please.
No.
No.
Well, I tried, and he walks away.
No, that's fine. That was absolutely not what was meant to happen.
No, wait.
That's better. In many ways, that's better.
I would.
So we go up to Brixton and we're like, cubes,
Brixton's
please.
like, how did you get out? Didn't my wizard stop you?
No, he was no match for us.
What was the battle? Was it epic? Was it sort of the thing that
So
people sing
crazy.
songs
Oh,
on?
yeah.
Did he cast his
I
empowered?
looked at
did he
him
cast
in the
his
eye.
empowered fireball spell? Because we worked very hard on giving him that spell.
We just said, no.
Oh yeah, no, that's sort of Kevin. Yeah,
He's a
very
coward.
non-confrontational.
I say, well, Brixton, by the happy looks on my fellow adventurers' faces, looks like we have won your gentleman's wager. Or should we say, gentle Filger's wager?
I suppose you should say that. Yes. Well, look, I know when I'm beat, and
We tricked you.
Yes, well, anyway, I've got a voucher here for a medium-priced restaurant of your choice, and he reaches into his coat and pulls out a revolver.
Where'd you get that from? That's not from this world.
Yes, there's things that
The
are
third gun
there's-
you've
there's
seen in
guns
this
in
world.
this
Oh, make sure to mash your face when I had the goddamn chance.
And he goes, so I think that this has obviously been all a little bit of a misunderstanding. You see, the thing about wages with me is I tend to cheat. So
Us too. We're the same.
Oh, that's cool.
Wait till you hear what we did to your.
and he's backing away down the alleyway now, and he's like, so this is the way I see it. There's many more of you than me. You've got 5 cubes, which I wish I had, but I've got 4, and that's still pretty good. So I'm just going to be going back to Baldur's Gate now.
Bye.
Thank you very much, by the way.
Waterdeep, rather. Not Baldur's
But
Gate.
Waterdeep. Thank you very much, by the way, for that rubbing of that priceless Omuan cuneiform. That
I
is
take
going
one of the daggers from
to
my
make me-
jerkin and I
No,
fling it at him.
and he fires the gun at you.
And then I
Great.
kick the gun out of his hand.
Sorry?
Then I kick the gun out
No,
of his
no,
hand.
no. He's like 15 feet away from you, and so you attack him, and he fires the gun. He hits you. What do? You can roll the dice. I'm saying.
Oh, wait. 2.
To try and
Yeah,
dodge?
so
you
I
wanna
rolled
do?
12.
Is that what it is, Dave? To try and dodge, or?
That's a 13.
20.
13 won't do it. So your dagger misses.
No, 13 plus your dexterity, right?
Oh, just you rolled a 13.
Is it dexterity?
It's just your attack. It's an attack.
Oh, attack.
Oh, yeah,
It's
Plus,
like always.
Oh, I thought he was trying to dodge the bullet. Sorry.
You're throwing a dagger at him.
Is that? I don't have the stats for this dagger that I found. Is it a plus?
It's the same as
It's just
as
a
plus
regular
7?
dagger.
Yeah.
So it's a 20.
Plus 7. All right, so you hit him. He hits you at the same time, so you take 13 points of damage, and he takes a d6 plus 4 from you. But at that moment, before any fighting can happen, in the crossway of the alleyway, there is a sudden thump and a commotion, and a huge face of what seems to be a giant dinosaur jumps forward and snaps at him and plucks him up with the puzzle cube still in his vest and snatches him up. And you can see that this dinosaur, this T-Rex, has feathers woven all the way down its mane.
You feathery cunt! I've seen you in my dreams! And you're coming home with me tonight or I'm going into you!
I'm what? What was
Going
that?
into you.
What was that last bit?
I'm either going to go into him with a blade or through his mouth into his tum-tum.
Not the weirdest thing we've seen today. And Brusque runs forward, but already
He's
the
giggling. This
Yeah.
is a 102-year-old cat man who's now just giggling like a little schoolboy.
but the T-Rex
He's thrilled.
has, as I said, already grabbed Lord Brixton.
Wait, he's 102?
Has already snapped up Lord Brixton and is racing down the boulevard now out of the alleyway and racing into the heart of the city. And you can just hear Lord Brixton's sort of plaintive cries.
Yes, righto, Mr. Dinosaur. I think there's been something of a misunderstanding
Where
here.
he's bashed against a wall and goes silent, but his body is still sort of being jerkily grabbed forward. And as it runs away ahead of you, you remember that with sickening clarity that he still has 4 of the puzzle cubes.
But are they all jangling out of his pockets and I just run and pick them up as behind
No,
him?
no. They're all secured in his clothing.
Damn his secure pockets.
But he never took one of the 5, did
No.
he? He just had his own
just
4.
got
That's
his
right.
own.
4, but we need 9 to open the thing.
The
we
hunt is
chase
on.
after him.
Guess
Yeah.
we gotta chase this dinosaur.
Okay, so you guys are just racing down the road?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're following it, and quickly it seems to disappear into what looks like an amphitheater, a sort of, an old open
Theater.
air. You know what they are.
Yeah.
In the round, and
This one, Dave.
yeah, there you go. And it ducks into an amphitheater in the city, and as you chase past and come around the corner, it seems to have disappeared, and you find yourselves on the grass of the amphitheater, and you can't see the dinosaur anymore.
How did it disappear?
Where is it?
It's a T-Rex,
Bruce.
right?
It's a T-Rex.
I'm
Track it.
I'm giggling and
Actually,
smiling,
get
and I'm
Bruce-
knocking an arrow to my bow.
Brusque is already up in the stands, and he's got an arrow and he's skirting around because he actually has just seen the dinosaur take a step forward and then shimmer and vanish.
Oh, he's a tricksy dinosaur.
Is it a trickster god? Is that what? Do you know what this is, Brusque?
Bloody, I know what he is. He's hard to see. Everything is for me. I've got one eye covered in cataracts. Also, I'm 102. But, more to the point, he's a bloody invisible dinosaur, so be on your guard.
And Brusque seems to notches an arrow and spins around and fires an arrow at you, Friezo. Or so, I'm just taking over your character for a second. Or so it seems, but the arrow goes right past you and you hear a scream and the T-Rex is behind you as it rears up in pain with an arrow in its neck. And then lunges towards you, and you guys have a second to act as it dives towards you.
Lunges towards me, Frieza.
The whole party.
Wait.
I'm gonna cast bad farts.
You're going to cast Bad Farts?
Yeah.
20 feet of just noxious smell centered on you.
Yeah, because we'll be able to see the invisible dinosaur in the fart. In the fart gas.
It's visible again because it just got shot. But yes, great. All right, you cast spell number 2, Bad Farts.
Everyone hold your breath!
But Dave, does that mean that the dinosaur has dropped Brixton?
He sometime since after he vanished, but before he came back. Yes, he's not holding Brixton
Where
anymore.
is Brixton?
All right, so you cast your spell, Filge, and you're all told to hold your breath, and so a noxious cloud of gas seeps out of all of Filge's. How does it manifest itself?
It comes out of my hair.
Lovely. Next up is you, Bobby.
I dash around trying to find Brixton.
So you're just going to leave the fight?
Yeah, I'm just gonna scout.
All right, you're dashing into the stands, down to the vomitorium, or out around the sides.
Well, the avenue that we came through, that presumably the T-Rex came through, I guess that's through the...
That's the way you ran through, yeah.
Yeah, but were we following the dinosaur?
And we didn't see Brixton. We
Um,
followed the dinosaur.
Yeah, you've run past that area, so
Okay, so I
stands,
head,
vomitorium, or around the sides.
I head towards the dinosaur, I guess.
Okay, so you're going to charge it?
Yeah.
All right, great. So you lunge forward with your... What are you going to use?
I'll use my short sword.
So you knock an arrow and you fire.
Short sword.
I said short sword.
Okay, so you knock a short sword and you slash.
Yep. Oh, sorry. That's a 15.
15 will hit.
Plus, yep.
Cool, so you...
It's a 5 plus.
5 plus 4 is 9, so you take 9. You do 9 points of damage, and Baston, you're next.
So Brixton's nowhere to be found, and we followed this...
Not right now, no. But so the T-Rex came into the amphitheater, then you saw it disappear, and then it suddenly reappeared behind Frieza.
And Brixton was gone.
Yes. So it seems to be able to sort of blink around.
I also want to find Brixton, but I think we need to kill this thing first.
Did my gas have any effect?
Not yet, but it hasn't entered your gas.
Okay, I'm attacking. What's the armor class? What do I need to hit it?
You need to beat armor class 17.
These ones are for my scimitar of speed, so they're plus 8. One of them hits and does 9 points of damage, and this is for my name sword. One of them hits and does 6 points of damage.
Okay, great. So you do 15 points of damage, and then next up is you, Friezo.
So Friezo knows about dinosaurs, right? So he would know if there are any weaknesses or resistances that dinosaurs have?
Yep, there doesn't seem to be any.
Cool, alright. Which bolt it is, baby?
Famously not resistant to fire or witch fire.
Cool, this is the second. So I'm going to cast the... which one was that? My second spell slot?
Yep.
The first was the Gaseous Cloud. This is the second one. And that is a 6 plus 7 is 13.
Not enough. So your spell actually fizzles and it doesn't work, I'm afraid to say. The next up is you, Tabaxi Brusque.
I keep giggling. I'm so happy that this is happening. This is like the one dream that he had left. You know, you don't have to often get to see how your book ends, but here he's able to get his ideal ending, and he knocks another arrow and shoots it off.
Excellent. I'll just do it for you. It's fine.
Yeah, good
and it hits again, and your arrows have a poison in them as well. So that does 14 points of damage. And then the next up is
Oh, no, scream, I'm gonna fuck you up!
the T-Rex, which runs towards you, and the moment it's about to hit the gas that you have created, it just seems to shimmer and blinks and disappears. And Bobby, it's your up next.
I was going to reverse Fred Flintstone up his tail, but since I don't know where he is, that makes it really difficult. I'm going to I guess I'll shoot an arrow into the direction that he was just as before he blinked out.
Yep, that's good to test if it's invisible. So the arrow whistles through the space, and it
That's
seems like he's
15.
truly gone.
Okay.
The next up, Filch. Reverse Fred Flintstone.
Filch is going to just. She figures that he would want to avoid the smoke, so he's probably appeared behind her. So she's going to swing around and just shoot a javelin.
Yep.
behind
You're still looking, but yeah, your javelin flies wide. You still can't work out where he is. Baston.
So, how big was the entrance to this arena?
Big enough for like a vehicle to get through.
Well, I'm gonna go and block the exit to the arena.
Okay, so you stand there and you wait to see if it reappears. Tabasco.
I'm gonna. Well, okay.
It's kind of Tabasco.
Yeah, it's not nice to call people by just the name of their race and
And
also
get it
done
dirt.
wrong. Yeah,
It's been a long day.
it certainly has. I will remain in Overwatch above the field. I'm aware that it may be coming for me as I've harmed it, so I'm gonna run elf-like, despite my ears.
All right, so using cat-like agility, you go up to the top of the stands and you wait.
It's just called cat agility.
Well, with your ears pricking, and you are silhouetted
pricking, he has one
in
ear.
the sun, and all of you can see this moment as your Tabaxi, your new friend Brusque, seems to scan the area around him, and then his one good ear pricks up, and he spins around, and at that moment, a shape coalesces just as it snaps and attacks him and crushes down upon him and hits you twice with its fangs and also bites you for 34 plus 67 hit points
Jeez. Okay.
of damage, and which throws you off the stand, and you go wild. And at that moment, it dives down and splayed out as you are. At that moment, Baston, by the doors of the stand, you see the crumpled body of Sir Brixton up against the side of the vomitorium from your perspective.
Is he dead? Is he moving?
Oh, he looks very dead. He looks super dead.
I'm gonna go get those cubes.
So you race towards the body and start
Yep.
searching through it. And already you guys can't hear sound, so it seems like the dinosaur has gone invisible again. You find the 4 cubes.
I put them in my pockets. I get out.
Brusque is
Let's
lying-
go.
Brusque is lying on the floor, broken and bloodied, but he's kind of.
How many hit points you got left?
I got 11.
All right, cool.
So I'm like, you
Oh.
piece of shit. I'm trying to get to my feet, but they're kind of giving way underneath
So
me.
you sort of get up to your feet. One of your feet is broken. Your tail is sort of flailing uselessly. Your other eye is bleeding, and the blood is getting into it, and you're sort of going blind as you listen with a hunter's grace for the sound of the dinosaur coming again. What about you 3?
Should we just get out of there?
Bye.
It's not our fight, right? We got our cubes.
I'm by the door. I'm like,
All right, I run.
Yeah. Hit the,
Say
the road.
anything? Are you gonna let
We'll
Brusque know?
always
what he
remember
wants.
you. Enjoy your destiny.
I mean, it doesn't mean. All right. Well, I
You
feel
got
like, to be
this.
honest, I feel like you've made your minds up. Haven't you?
Is this what you want?
You know what? Why don't you just go ahead and do what you want?
Oh, wait, can I do something?
You can just hear this.
Just as I run out the door, I cast spell 1.
All right, you cast Protection from Evil on a 20-foot square at the foot of the stand.
For him.
It's centered around you. And
But aren't I close enough?
no, he's not. He's more than 20 feet away. You can't actually see him. He's on the other side of the stand.
So that was useless?
No, so you guys can shout. He can hear you, but unless you go to him, you can't see him.
you're doing great.
Are you sure this is what you want?
I've never said that.
I thought this is
No,
what you
no,
wanted.
Definitely the
Let us
dinosaurs
know.
I want.
Misunderstanding.
If this isn't what you want, be sure to let us know. I'm counting 3.
Just seems strange to get through all this adventure.
One.
then
No,
run
that's
away
fine.
from what is
Okay,
clearly
cool.
an
Bye.
enemy
You,
boss.
you hear a crunch,
tried.
a shriek of pain, and you take 28 hit points of damage, which
At
is
least I fucking knew it.
which is only 2 of its 3 hits. That is powerful. And the King of Feathers has claimed another victim as the 4 of you leave.
We're all protected from evil from my spell, right?
Yeah, until you
Yeah,
walk out
cool.
of the stand with 9 puzzle cubes burning hot little holes in your various pockets. You have bested the shrines. You have killed many mercenaries, a frog thing,
In a way, him.
sort of.
It's only a crime of omission.
He was 102. Like,
Let's not forget
You
you
lived a
choked
good
an
life.
assassin to death. I think Brixton's blood's kind of on your hands. You actually took a wizard and you rotated his head off. And let's not forget the child you killed. But in all
We didn't kill him. He was just on me when he died.
during all of that,
any court of law.
some would say that the Chilton puzzle cubes are priceless. And what price could you place on ancient artifacts such
some?
as these? It turns out the blood of many, but not today, the blood of the dragon. Friends, thank you! 4 episodes! Oh my god, we did it! Thank you so much to our audience who stayed here all day. Can I hear it for
Fuck
Shakira
yeah.
and Zach and Ali for the
Thanks,
venue?
everybody.
Mr.
You
Benny
guys are
Davis,
sick.
Alex, Simon, Hing, Eden, Tom Walker, Jordan, Riscopolis before Mr. Ben Jenkins.
Dave Harmon!
Oh! Dungeon Daddy.
And
Thank
Dave
you.
and Wyatt.
Dave.
Oh, yeah, Devin White.
Oh yeah, and Dave May and Wyatt who helped to set up all,
yeah.
all
Thanks,
legends,
mates.
all of them.
And let's hear it one more time for the Dreamers.
And as a special treat, 4 more episodes right now.